Hello guys, some of you know I was asking you about my YouTube videos, whether in the future we should rather use the examples of celebrities, people who are famous. Sometimes it were actors, sometimes it was scientists, politicians, or rather we should use examples of the clients. And I said that I will do that 10 future videos experiment and see how this will go. But I would like to discuss a few points and let me know in the comments what are your views regarding these points, and maybe you will bring some new light which will help me to either be more supportive of this new decision, or maybe we could do also a playlist, right? Sometimes we are doing celebrities, sometimes we are going back to the clients, but I will also tell you about what is the impact on me and what I prefer. Okay, so let's go to these points. So we have a few pros and cons regarding the celebrities and using the charts of the clients. I was also discussing this matter with my Guruji, Visi Larsen, so I will always provide some of context of our discussion in this video. So let's go first to the pros of using the celebrities chart. And also yesterday I was chatting with my students group, and also there were these two arguments showing up for the using the celebrities chart. So the first very strong argument is that this celebrities examples, we can find very extreme cases. And that was something which was always very much convincing for me, because I thought if there is some extreme cases, for example, I was always into serial killers chart, and I thought this person is so extreme in his or her morality, there is so strong one-directional karma that if astrology works, then it must be very also strongly signified in the chart, right? If something is very accentuated in the life, then similarly that has to be very strongly sitting there in the chart. We have those extremities in all directions. We can find people who were very successful, very famous, who had whatever you want to research. We have people with accidents, with the court cases, with scandals. We have people who are had very short or very long lifespan. We had people with a lot of finances. We have even people who won lottery. So for example, if you're analyzing the fortune, then what better chart to see those who are winning the lottery? And the good part is that for those who are having those Rahu blessing, who love this statistical evidence, we can find more examples like this. We can write in astrodatabank.com or whatever database, and we can find those people with certain events, and we can then expect that this will repeat in the chart, right? Theoretically, it should repeat also in the chart. The second point, which we discussed yesterday on that student chart, is about objectivity of those cases. Everyone knows, I mean, not everyone, but most of the people know some very popular figures, right? It could be actors, could be like, for example, if we are going into life of Leonardo DiCaprio, or if we are going to Tom Hanks, or some politicians, right, like Silvio Berlusconi, then we have some kind, at least we are recalling their faces, their stories. So it is like talking about our common friend. We have so-called this common friend, and together we are all involved. We can discuss, and these facts are available for everyone, and they cannot be shaken. For example, if I'm telling you something about my clients' consultations, there is always theoretically the risk that I can make up something, right? I can make up this biography or how I was interpreting the chart and so on. Whilst with analyzing these popular figures, we have at least this objectivity of the facts and availability. Everyone knows, and also some form of familiarity we can talk about in this context. Third point, which we are talking about and which is also related to that extreme, this peripheral nature of those events, is also the numbers. We have a lot of people celebrities. For example, if you want to see diabetes or some kind of allergy or autoimmune disease, or I don't know, everything, then it's very easy to find this group of people, and it's not hundreds, it's not 200s, but at least it's going more into that direction of statistical evidence, and it is more, it's going closer to that so-called scientific method, which is very much convincing. So this is very much there. Now, when we are going to that another side, we are going to this pros of using the client chart. Then, of course, the first is also the familiarity, but not only when it comes to the recollection, I know something about this person, but we have this familiarity that we can also expect the level of events which is happening to our clients, our family, our friends. If we are talking about some celebrities who are buying the 5 big yacht or big house in Santa Monica, not everyone can feel this or resonate with these events, because people who are exposed to such high level of some type of karma, this is like 0.01% of people. This is the peak of society in that, from that direction. So there is absolutely no resonating with such events, right? This is like reading in the newspapers about celebrities. These are like people from other planets. Of course, this can be very motivating for some people. We like to read about success, about someone getting award, or someone was recognized and someone was rewarded for the hard work. This is very motivating also for us, and it's bringing that good spirit, but the familiarity is lacking here. So there is much more familiarity with this everyman's, let's say this everyman's, of course, very unique in its own colorfulness charts, and there is much more this feeling of I can also experience that. I can feel that, or I've already experienced this, right? I'm going in that direction. I'm correcting the karma in the same way. I was also expecting that. I was disappointed in the same way. We can feel the same. We are on that same track. We are on the same karmic boat, we could say. The second thing, which is also very interesting, this is what I discussed with my Guruji, is that I don't know the full mechanism of this. I've got some insight into this matter, but I have seen that whenever I'm doing the celebrities chart, my fate in astrology is going down. Because I don't have, that is my arguments, I don't have access to the all information. So if I'm going through one chart, second chart, I'm trying to research some rules which I've been taught, then sometimes it's quite disappointing, right? Because we don't have a full information. And I remember my Guruji was telling me, don't assume too much. But I'm quite impulsive in this and other matters too. When I don't see something, then I'm somehow subconsciously assuming it doesn't happen or it couldn't happen, then this is wrong, right? And this mismatch is quite problematic for my conviction, right? It's better and better because I still have faith from this clients' cases and from my general practice of Jyotish, but definitely there is some mechanism related to this. Whilst when I'm doing clients' chart, right, every day I'm really surprised how everything works, how this Jyotish, how it is possible. I'm really, like, every time I have a consultation, I'm really amazed how these dashas are reflecting this, how all those traditional rules are really reflecting the person's life, starting from health to the personal development, career life, relationships, each year, the yearly chart, transits, the dashas, many techniques, the Arudas, how they are showing the ascendants, the correlationship with the names, the description. I mean, so many mothers. I'm really amazed about also how the Rashi chart, how the dasha is, for example, showing one thing in Rashi, and how this is beautifully connected with the Vargas, with the Navamsha, that the really complex situation can be really seen in all that also complex karmic mix of Rashi with the Vargas. So when I'm doing the client chart for my fate and my feeling how all this works, it's really improving. When I'm doing the consultation, I feel it's, oh my God, it's so good. Also, when this feeling of that you can see those things in people's life is automatically activating those, we could say, charitable part of astrology or of myself, right? That I'm seeing, oh, I can really here make a change. I can really improve the person's life. If I have recognized this mechanism in this person's life, then, for example, I can say, oh, stop, in this year, don't buy this because again, it will repeat. Or wait a few months and then the good period will come, go to that person. And because already some parts of this mechanism was recognized, so we can use the other thing, how this dasha is coming through all these elements. And we can, if you are feeling that you have caught these planets and you have recognized this connection to person's events in life, then we can really help. We can really give the advice what to do, in which time, which elements to use, and so on. I get excited, so probably I'm speaking too fast. But you know what I mean. Now we are going from the scientist more to someone who recognizing the karmic connections and who can really bring the tips, right? The physical and metaphysical. So this is another point, right? We have this increase of a faith and also this feeling of change, feeling of improvement. This missionary nature is automatically started. You can see for astrologers, these type of examples are much more inspiring and also fun and the more fulfilling. The other interesting point is also that when you are, there is this science thing, right? That you need to have this statistical evidence. You need to collect 30,000 of samples, then you need to have some research, then you need to have your meta research. This needs to be checked by other non-involved people, and you have those research thing and so on. But also what is interesting, if you are reading the psychologist books, maybe accept this behavioral therapy because it's also very much influenced by the science, this more biological, more materialistic approach. But when you are reading the psychology books, for example, I'm now reading a nice book about the deaf, then this anecdotal evidence is very much accentuated and recognized. The story of real people are then cited, right? Listed and given as an example. So there is not 100 people with that one factor, but it's the one person, but with 100 parts, and how these 100 parts are working together. So this is also interesting because astrology also, like psychology, is about the patterns, and those patterns often are not only analytical, where you are seeing one, when you have this tunnel vision and you see one element, but it's very also using the synthesis. So you need to see the whole mechanism, the wholeness or fullness of life. And then you can see how this one mechanism is influencing and is like expanding into other parts of the life. And then sometimes it's better to have one person with 100 pieces than 100 people with one piece analyzed, right? So the synthesis sometimes it's better. And this is also something which I've seen, that in that more psychological approach, this anecdotal evidence, which is so much criticized by science, is also there, because you want to appreciate that fullness of experience, a fullness of experience of human being. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it for today's short video. Please support this channel by hitting the thumbs up. We have a Discord community. You can find the link in the description if you'd like to have personal consultation on Zoom 90 minutes regarding your chart, how to analyze all these yogas in Rashi, Navamsha, and the Varga, whatever is your concern, whatever are your questions, then feel free to hit me up in the email below and we can schedule such consultation. Thanks for watching to the end, being here with me on this channel. And if you're into Jyotish, then consider watching the next video like this.